I hope you're doing well. I heard a saying that was so simple and yet so profound. And when I hear something like that, I tend to mull it over in my mind. And it came up again today. I was having a lunch meeting and it was enjoyable, it was casual, and yet we were accomplishing things. It was good. And I'm in a position where I need to be mentored by a fellow or a facial myofunctional therapist. And so I'm in a position that she has way more experience than me. And the saying came back up. Would you rather learn by experience or by faith? All right, let's think about that a little bit. Experience. I'm actually dealing with this with my son, and actually most parents deal with this with their children. The reason why parents try to guide children is because they've been there, done that. They can look down a path and go, I walked this same path and it was not fruitful. I'm going to encourage you to not do that. And yet sometimes that kid goes down that path anyway. They needed to learn by experience rather than having the faith to know that I knew what I was talking about and that wasn't the direction to go. They learned by experience. There are pluses and minuses of both, but I really believe what God intended us to learn by is faith. When God said to Adam and Eve to not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, he already possessed the knowledge of good and evil. He knew that that's not what they needed to do. Therefore, by faith, he said, don't do that. If they trusted him, and we know there was a deceiver, but if they had trusted him, they would have had the faith to just move past that. But they began to question. And then what did they do? They experienced. And all of us are paying for it to this day. Faith is wisdom that's been placed before you. Do you trust it? Do you believe it? Think about some things in your life. Think about your past. What did you learn by faith? And what did you learn by experience? Compare the two. I believe God wants that. The whole Bible is written on this. You know, he tells you what? My favorite verse that I always am saying. Cast your cares upon the Lord because he cares for you. That's a step of faith, knowing that the Lord's going to take care of them. Why? Because it says in verse 8, beware of your great enemy, the devil, for he prowls around like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. You want to be the prey that Satan is hunting and is seeking? Or do you want to walk by faith and just say, okay, God, this is bigger than me and I can't deal with it. And I trust you to take care of it. Let's walk by faith today. Blessings.